that's it. I just had Waffle House and I got my deck box on me. And in case you didn't know, these hands is pansexual. Anybody could get it. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day, phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. As of recent, I've been doing a lot of testing and I just wanted to get you up to date on what are the most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks right now. These decks through my testing I have noticed have been overperforming, and you should take notice of them too in case you want to play them or to prevent yourself from getting clapped. Of course, big dog, as per usual, I'll be providing personal deck lists on my Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. And if you want to see this video a little bit early, then you can catch me on Twitch. All of the info is down below. Without further ado, let's talk about those top 5 most dominant Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. So, I know you weren't prepared for the decks that are still dominating the meta. Kashtira and Dragon Links are very boring. They're still it. Kashtira is the XE deck that has existed for way too long. It's really good at summoning extremely powerful monsters and banishing cards when you need them the most. And Dragon Link is another really powerful deck that just won the World Championship in 2023. And dragons are really good is because every single time a new dragon card comes out, the deck finds a way to use it. Kind of like how every year you find a way to use them kids on your taxes. Don't think I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I can sit here and talk for hours about how powerful these decks are and how much we love and hate them. But to be honest, who really cares at this point in time? These decks have been existing for so long, they're almost bound to get hit on the next forbidden list. And I'm pretty much sick and tired of talking about them. I also think that it's way more important to look at some future powerful decks, as Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been shifted more towards decks from Duelist Nexus and alike, so let's talk about those particular decks as they are really, really good right now. Plus, I'm not trying to be like that dude that peaked in high school, always living in the past. Did I tell you that I had all of the girls in high school, by the way? Personally, I think the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Can play hand traps extremely well, can also deal with board breakers, and oftentimes makes boards that seem outright unfair. These last 3 decks, I think they fit the bill. And the first of the 3 would easily have to go to Purely right now. It was doing extremely good before the new cards in Duelist Nexus, and now I've seen it on a whole nother level. My guy, the last thing you want is to get your ass whooped by some pretty cats, or dogs, or... what are they again? Hold on, let me look them up. They're an archetype of fairy monsters. All right, that doesn't help. Well, they do purr, right? So if they purr, dogs don't purr, do they? Oh, come here, girl. All right, can you purr for me? Can you purr for me? You know, Pearlies could be dogs. She's kind of purring, right? I'm on hopium, am I? Pearly feels like it doesn't really have a weakness to some of the most powerful hand traps. It can summon under 5 times the dodge cards like Nibiru. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring may work for one of the Pearly spells, but they have several others to use. And then your board breaking cards, well, X-Pearly Nor just so happens to be unaffected.
Bitch, I'm fabulous! Oh!
Some of the only ways to be able to out X-Pearly Nor is to kaiju it, but then you trigger its field spell and its continuous spell to be able to get more resources back for them. And it's a deck that can draw up to 6 cards in an entire turn, allowing them to draw into hand traps to be able to disrupt you. Basically, I'm saying even when you do break the deck's board, you're not out of the neck of the woods. Pearly is so incredibly crazy, Konami actually had to hit Pearly Delicious Memory, having players think that it was a completely dead deck. Now with the new support, this deck is dominating, but this isn't the only deck to be able to get support through Duelist Nexus to take it over the moon. I think that Synchron is incredibly good. Before, I wasn't too confident on it. Now, I am overly confident on it. Maybe. My guy, all I'm trying to do is just synchron with your girl's cheeks. That's all I need right now. One of the biggest problems with synchro decks before is that summoning Junk Speeder normally got all of the attention of hand traps, preventing them from being able to combo off. But the new way that players have been playing the synchro deck is kind of crazy. They've been summoning monsters like Wandering Griffin Rider and Baron de Fleur to prevent you from being able to hand trap it, meaning that you're going to need multiples, making the probability a lot lower. It also means that Synchron can pop off, which is kind of scary to see. And another thing that I've noticed, the closer you have been getting to fair, is the better that the deck has been. Players have been trying to use the Calamity Knock. Nah, that's a little bit too much. You gotta at least let your opponent play with no cards. Synchron is incredibly good at summoning Psyframe Lord Omega and Trishula to rip cards out of your opponent's hands, leaving them with next to nothing to be able to play with. That's a little more fair, right? Right? No. Holy God, the deck got more consistent and still has a stupid win condition. Synchron is also crazy good at being able to play hand traps thanks to TG Hyper Librarian. Being able to draw cards every single time you synchro summon is going to get you a hand trap or two inside of your hand. So even if your board does get broken, you're allowed to be able to stop your opponent from making theirs and then follow up with the rest of your cards. Also, keep in mind the hand traps that you normally play inside of a Synchron deck are tuners themselves. You can just summon them to your side of the field in a pinch and synchro summon to the monster that you need to continue on if you ever get into a grind game. It's actually about time that white power comes into fruition. Wait, what?
Make synchros great again, my brother, and we've been oppressed for too long!
Now for the 5th best deck, I really wanted to put so many other decks right here. I think it's a little bit up for debate. I want to know what you guys think is your top 5 Yu-Gi-Oh strategies that have been dominating, whether it's through testing or observation. And I'll be sure to comment to as many observations that I see as well I can. I can't get to all of you guys, but we definitely can have a conversation with some of you. I was also like this close to putting Vanquish Soul here. It's a deck that just keeps topping out of nowhere. It's already topped in the World Championship, that's topped in multiple nationals. It actually is a strong deck that can play hand traps and against board breakers, but I decided to side with Chimera this time. My guy, you know how I feel about dogs at this point in time, right? They're like cats, I guess. The reason why I went with Chimera over the other strategies is that Chimera is kind of ridiculous and it exhibits some of the things that other decks do. Like how dragons have the Legionnaire hand rip. Well, if you're summoning your Chimera fusion monster, you're ripping a card out of your opponent's hand. Then also, since the Chimera engine is fairly small and consistent, you can play a ton of hand traps and board breaker cards yourself, especially seeing that the Chimera deck really doesn't end on a board that could be broken. A lot of times cards like Dark Ruler No More don't work against this deck because your spell and trap cards are a little bit more menacing than the monster that you put on your field, especially when you can fusion summon into Guardian Chimera and destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field, as well as to draw into your disruption cards like hand traps. Of course, if you want to see me use a Chimera deck in action, you can go ahead and check out this video. I think it'll give you everything you need to know about the deck, as it is extremely powerful with so much potential because the illusion monsters just came out. I've been saying a lot of players have been missing it with Branded, and a 60 card variant has been fairly successful, but even a more pure build is extremely good against some of the top decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, as it can bait a ton of hand traps like Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler and still keep playing to make some incredible boards. Plus, my copium is high right now. I could be overestimating Chimera. I could also be underestimating Chimera. Regardless, the last 3 strategies that I mentioned are almost guaranteed not to get hit by the ban list and are going to be some of the best decks moving forward. From my experience, those have been some of the strongest decks in the game, but I actually want to take the time to acknowledge some other really powerful decks that I've been noticing doing fairly well. The first one is my Solomon Great Hopium. It's back. Solomon Great actually did get a huge boost from Soul Burning Volcano. I think that it's a very powerful deck, and I actually even have a duel to back it up to show you how powerful it is. I've also been noticing that players have been pretty successful with Rescue Ace. It just takes a bigger brain than what you would think to be able to top with the deck, because it's more straightforward than just summon the big monster and win the game. I really like the subtle complexities within that deck. There's also Unchained. This deck is completely bonkers. The only thing you have to fear is Nib. It doesn't exist, right?
Yes.
My guys, if we conceptualize it, the Rock does not exist. The Rock does not exist. The Rock, it probably exists in your opponent's hand.
Yes.
It's going to be really crazy to see what the ban list has to offer and what type of change is going to happen. I'm really excited to see it, and let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think is going to happen as well. That's pretty much all that I have for the top 5 most dominating decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, let me know everything that you think about this particular video, and also how cool you are by subscribing to the Shadow Gang and watching more videos. Of course, big dog, I hope you are having an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next one.